Hey everybody, welcome to our live stream. We're starting a little bit late today because I'm trying to figure out live streaming. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions throughout this, leave a comment. If you have questions afterwards, or if you're running short on time, you can email me, toby@themightymo.com, or via LinkedIn. You can just send me a message there. On themightymo.com, we also have our phone number, so you can call me there too. Really excited to share this presentation with you. So I've been in business 18 years, fixing broken websites, doing SEO, that sort of stuff. And there's this weird convergence about when people redesign their website or make big changes to their site, oftentimes they'll break all their hard-won SEO. So a lot of those efforts from years or maybe decades is kind of like disappeared in an instant the moment they hit publish. So if that happens, or if you're planning a redesign or some big change to your site, this is a great presentation for you. It's 10 quick actionable tips. This is going to be a short presentation. It's going to be less than 20 minutes. And the tips in here could be the difference in rescuing your SEO or saving it if you're planning on doing the work to redesign your site. Let's get started here. The first thing I want to say is we've all been there. Like I said, I've been doing this 18 years, helping people through these scenarios, and the people are all around us who've experienced this. Even that highly competent person that from that company, they've probably experienced this. So I just want you to know that there's no judgment here. This is a common scenario that I see in my work life all the time. First thing I like to do is identify the damage. And how do you know if your SEO is been affected or not? So what I like to do, the first step, after I really do anything big on a website, I'll go to google.com and type site : the URL. So in my case, I would type this here, site : themightymo.com. And it'll give me a nice list of pages here from my site, or from your site if you type your URL there. And you can kind of get a good sense right away if something is horribly wrong. And we'll get into some of the horribly wrong scenarios. But if you see stuff here that is not at all what you expected, maybe there's nothing here. That's a common one. We'll get into that later. Or maybe stuff just looks messed up. This is a great place to start to identify the damage. There's also, Google provides a free tool called Google Search Console, and this is the URL right now, search.google.com. Part of it is to kind of help you through a scenario like this. It's generally like the health of your SEO. That's what this tool from Google is. It's a free tool. Highly recommend you use it. In there, they have this tool that allows you to see specific errors and specific pages that are having errors. So if you click pages, you'll see something like this: why pages aren't indexed. And then you can click in deeper here and get a sense for which pages are not being indexed. Frankly, oftentimes you'll look through these pages and you'll say, actually, I don't want them indexed, because maybe there's some URL that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe it's something someone typed that's really weird that Google caught and is now part of Google. And so you'll want to just click through these and just see if there's anything horribly wrong here. Another great tool that I like to use is called Screaming Frog. This is software that you download. They have a free plan that is great for just getting a sense if something's horribly wrong. Again, we're just trying to identify if there's a problem initially, and these tools will help you answer that question. So let's say you've identified some problems. It's likely that one of those problems is broken URLs. And so a common example is when someone redesigns their site, they change our services to services, or they change contact us to contact. And so you'll see a lot of these things. And a couple things will happen here. One is you'll just have broken URLs, but also you're going to lose that Google juice. So let's say our services in this example was highly thought of in Google. It was ranking for all sorts of stuff. When you break it in this way, you're going to lose all that history. And so what you'll want to do is create a 301 redirect, and that says, here's the old URL, here's the new URL, and then that'll help Google figure it out, and that way you won't lose as much Google juice there. Thankfully, if you're using a platform like WordPress, it'll have this built into it most likely. Pretty much all the SEO plugins within the WordPress ecosystem have 301 redirects built into them. There's also standalone 301 redirect plugins. And so there's a vibrant community to pull from if you run into this specific issue. One thing that seems most common with WordPress sites is that the search engines are being discouraged. And so like there's this button in WordPress, it's a checkbox, and you see it here, and you can check it, and that'll tell Google not to index your site. And so what happens a lot of times in these builds is you have a team building the site, and they'll have that box checked, and they'll say, don't index this because you don't want duplicate content being indexed, and that could be confusing for Google and your visitors. And so they'll check that, and then they'll launch it, and they will forget to uncheck that. So oftentimes in that step one, if you see nothing in the Google results, it's probably that this box is checked. And so all you have to do is uncheck it, and then we'll share the next steps with you here. One thing you should, anytime you see an issue with pages, like if a wrong page is being indexed or missed pages are not being indexed properly, look at your XML sitemap. If you're in WordPress, pretty much every SEO plugin for WordPress has an XML sitemap generator. You can click on it. It'll tell you everything that it is telling Google to index. So if you see something in there you don't want, then you can take steps within WordPress, for example, to remove those. Or oftentimes there's stuff that you want in there that's not in there. And so you can take steps then to add it. Once you've added it in the WordPress end, then you can bring it over to Google and you can submit it in the Google Search Console. Step number 5, let's say there's some stuff that you're finding in the Google results, like you're typing your brand name or something, and there's some weird pages. Maybe they're old pages. I often see it with like dummy content that was created years ago for like some testing purpose. That'll be in the index. And so you'll just want to remove that. Make sure it's not in the XML sitemap, but then also you can go to Google Search Console and manually remove it using this button. You'll want to fix any 301 any redirect errors, redirect loops, 404 errors, pages that don't exist. You'll want to get a handle on what they are and then how to fix them. There's some great tools you can use to find them. There's this plugin for WordPress called Broken Link Checker. If you have a professional grade SEO tool, such as Ahrefs or SEMrush, it'll have that built into it. And so you need to find them. And then once you find them, you can decide what to do with them, whether that's creating a 301 redirect like we talked about earlier. Sometimes there's infinite redirects where one page links to that page links back. And so you can fix those things, especially if within WordPress, you'll be able to. And then within WordPress, there's a really nice plugin called Better Search Replace. And that'll allow you to bulk search replace URLs that you find. So for example, you might have a really old page that was linked to 10 times on your site. And you can use this plugin, Better Search Replace. Whoops. What am I doing here? To bulk replace that. Step number 7, fix your site's meta tags. You've probably heard of meta title, meta description. These are the things that oftentimes will appear on Google search results, such as if you Google WordPress consultant in Minneapolis, you'll find this. And you'll see this is the SEO meta title. This is the SEO meta description. So you can control that stuff, particularly within WordPress. Definitely if you have an HTML site, and WordPress just makes it easy for you to fix it, whereas some other platforms you might need a developer to fix. There's this detailed Chrome extension plugin, which if you chat me here, I'll share the link with you. It's something you can find just Googling too. But what that does is you can go to any site and it'll pop up with all the SEO meta stuff. And so you can check it that way. You can also do that initial thing we talked about, type site:"yoursite.com, and it'll give you all the meta that Google is displaying. And so that's oftentimes a great way to do it too. Step 8, Speed up your brand new, really, really, really slow site. This is a lot of what I do in web dev is like this dark comedy that never ends. Like, it's so sad. Somebody, a team invests hundreds or thousands of hours designing, building, writing content, publishing a new website, and then only to find out that it's really, really slow. Um, I know why this happens, and it's because oftentimes speed is not something that's talked about until the very end of a project after the launch because nobody thought to think about it. We build the speed conversation into all of our website design projects because there's clear trade-offs with speed, and the trade-off is usually if you tell somebody, hey, build me an interface so I can do something, um, that's going to slow down your site most likely. And so, the most common example is WordPress. You can build a WordPress site that's blazing fast, but the flip side is you probably won't have access to drag and drop and edit and stuff like that. And we build those sites for people. But oftentimes I'll tell people, like, look, if you want to edit the site using drag and drop builders, we can totally do that. And WordPress is fantastic at that. But it will slow it down a bit. And oftentimes it will slow it down a lot depending on the choices that are made. So there's that. But then oftentimes, like, it's too late. Usually when people come to me with speed problems, it's because whoever built the site didn't think about speed at all during the process of building it. In that case, there still are steps we can do. So let's say you've built a site. Maybe you are using large images, or maybe a video is playing, or a video playing, like those video backgrounds. Those are oftentimes really heavy that slow down your site. Oftentimes bigger images are loading. There's all sorts of additional things you can do. One tool I like to use is Google page speed mobile metric. And so if you just go to Google and you type Google page speed mobile, it'll pull it up, and you just type your URL in there, and it'll give you some ideas of things you can do. However, this is the sad bad news is that to implement a lot of the things that Google recommends on this page speed metric, you'll probably need to hire a developer to do. It's stuff that could be taken care of during a build process. So if you're in the middle of a build or beginning a build, definitely talk to your developers about page speed, and have those conversations early, and then have those conversations then throughout the project, because it's a lot easier up front to address those issues than later. Step number 9, don't forget about conversions. The whole reason we have a website for 99.9% of us is to convert into money or action. Most of them are money oriented. Even if you're a nonprofit, your website probably largely exists to generate donations. In addition to, websites provide information as well, but ultimately, money makes the world go round, and the website is just a branch of your marketing collateral, really. It's potentially a high converting branch, so that's kind of the advantage of it. So look at that content on your site, on your homepage, on your main service pages or product pages. Is it written in a way that meets people where they're at and leads them to the next step? And so when I think about, are the CTAs on the page, I'm sorry, CTA is total marketing jargon. I'm sorry. The call to action. So the idea, that's marketing jargon too. The question here is, when people land there, are they going to say, hey, this is the site I was looking for, and this is the thing I was looking for, thank you? Or will they land there and say, what the heck is this? This isn't at all what I wanted. So that's the question you need to ask. Finally, I always like to encourage people to be open, be upfront, be honest about the problems you're having with your website. Oftentimes you can find people around you who've gone through similar things. There are billions of websites out there that have been built. So we've all been exposed, have all experienced stuff. I experience it at a deep level every day. You can always email, call me, whatever. You can also message me on LinkedIn if you have questions or concerns about your website. But there are also communities out. Our local WordPress community it has a free Google group you can join, for example, and ask any question you want. It could be SEO, it could be WordPress. I'm part of an AI community right now where we're building apps using AI, and it's really fun. And there's just lots of people out there who can help with almost anything you can imagine. So I want to encourage that. And then also, if you have questions about anything specific we talked about, or if you want me to send you a specific link to something we talked about, just message me and I'll do that. So thanks, everybody. Really, really, really appreciate you joining me. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.